Please subscribe my channel. The ceramic mug felt warm in my grip when she spoke those words. Just serve the coffee, honey, my wife said with a sneer, without even glancing my way. And take a seat at the end. Soft chuckles spread around the long walnut dining table, gentle, polite, but harsh in their control. I stood there in my custom suit, carrying a silver platter like an extra in a poorly written show. Seeing the woman who once said my name softly in the dark turn me into just another piece of furniture before her relatives. Her rings glittered with gems I had paid for. Her grin was cutting enough to hurt. My expression stayed blank. That mattered a lot. Deep down, something settled firmly. This was it, the final part. Things weren't always this way between us. Once, she gazed at me as if I anchored her world. I knew her before the wealth had power, when I still rode the bus in Chicago, and she acted like her family's company didn't matter to her. She appreciated how I truly heard her. She liked that I never cut her off. She enjoyed my questions and how I recalled her replies. I loved her full-bodied laugh. I loved how she gripped my hand in crowds, marking her territory. When we got married, her dad gripped my hand too hard and warned, "The family company stays with family." I grinned and replied, "Of course." I never mentioned that I already controlled much of it. Not officially. Not then. The betrayal crept in quietly. It always does. It began with space between us, with looks she believed I missed, with her phone screen down during meals, with appointments that stretched long and reasons that came too smooth and practiced. I spotted the habits I always notice. She quit seeking my thoughts, then began ridiculing them. Little digs at first, safe trials. She probed how far she could go without pushback. I allowed it. The evidence arrived without noise. An email opened on our shared device. A chat history tagged with a familiar name. Her cousin's key advisor, the guy she was preparing to take my place in all ways. Schemes, figures, agreements made behind my back, and one sentence that stuck in my mind: he has no idea. He believes he's unimportant. I shut the device softly. I fixed myself a glass and started scheming. Anger shouts. Payback waits calmly. I never challenged her. I never fought. I never pleaded. I observed. I heard. I figured out precisely how she felt she was succeeding. The business was complicated. Trusts, hidden companies, voting rights. Tricky for anyone who hadn't created it. I had. Long before, while they dismissed me, I had silently gained majority control via proxies. Lawful, spotless, hidden. The sort of power that stays quiet until needed. I refreshed legal papers. I recorded it all. I instructed my attorneys to take their time, not rush. Patience hones edges. I permitted her to push the story she wanted. That I was the silent spouse trailing her family's success. That shame suited me. When she started presenting me as barely part of things now, I agreed. When she shifted my workspace to a room without windows, I expressed thanks. When she planned the family company gathering and instructed me to merely watch, I smiled and dressed sharply because I knew the guest arriving. Back at the table, I completed serving the coffee. The leader's spot at the front stayed vacant. My wife tapped her cup restlessly. "This won't take long," she declared, already enjoying her control. After the leader approves, we proceed without hurdles. Her gaze darted to me. I claimed my place at the rear. Then the entrance opened. The leader entered. A person who'd gripped my hand many times, who understood, whose approval kept his job. He paused suddenly, staring straight at me. Silence filled the space. He gulped. "Aren't you the—" My wife cut in with a sharp, belittling laugh. "Oh, you mean him?" "He's just—" I rose gradually. The leader stood taller. "Sir." That one term split the room apart. My wife's wine glass fell from her grasp and broke on the ground. The noise was fragile, decisive. I straightened my sleeves. "Please," I said steadily, "go on." The leader glanced at her, then me. "As I mentioned, the holder of the majority shares is here." Color faded from faces, documents shuffled, breaths shifted. My wife looked at me as if I were an unfamiliar person in my skin. I moved to the front of the table and claimed the open seat. The showdown stayed calm. It had no need for volume. I presented files, control rights, company setups, timelines, approvals, her deceit laid out clearly on paper. I didn't blame, I exposed. Every sheet struck like a ruling. She attempted to talk. Speech escaped her. Her cousin rose, then settled again as the leader shook his head. I think, I said quietly, there was discussion about clearing obstacles. I met my wife's eyes. View this as handled. Guards led them away courteously, expertly, smoothly. The manner for eliminating a risk, not an individual. She glanced back once. Anger, dread, a hint of sorrow. I sensed nothing. Later, by myself in my workspace, my true workspace, I permitted a deep exhale. I reflected on the man she assumed I was. The silent type, the unimportant one, the fool serving coffee from the rear. I considered how simple it is to confuse quiet with frailty. Fairness doesn't always roar. At times it murmurs and allows the resonance to wound. I didn't regain her affection. I had no desire for it. I took back my true self. And as the downtown Chicago skyline glowed against the tall windows I now fully controlled, I grasped a basic, pleasing truth. The sharpest payback isn't ruin, it's fixing what was wrong.